Welcome to another episode of Married with Video Games. I'm your host, Matthew.
I'm your host, Christina.
And I played Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Do.
Thank you. I needed you to do that.
That's it. It was necessary.
Every time we played this game, I was like, I just want to watch The Last Crusade now.
No, Indy.
You call him Dr. Jones.
You suck, Nathan Drake.
Nathan Drake is a pussy. That's from Hey Ash, What You Playin'?
Oh, it was so good.
That is a good episode of.
So Troy Baker plays every character in this game.
Every character ever. You'd never know it. He's just that good.
He plays Gina. He plays Indiana. He plays everybody in this game.
He even plays the Nazi.
He plays the Nazi.
All the Nazis.
Every one of them.
He even plays Marcus Brody.
I'm proud of him. So yeah, we played an Indiana game, and it was very good.
He was, yeah.
That's podcast.
End of podcast. Next up.
19 out of 10.
South of Midnight.
South of Midnight. And we'll start that one now. After an Egyptian cat statue is stolen from the university by a strange giant of a man, Indiana rushes off to recover this artifact. After finding out that the Nazis are after the statue and the contents within, Indiana sets off on an adventure to stop them along with his new companion, Gina, a reporter trying to find her sister and how her sister is tied up in this mess. So yeah, that sums it up, and you just start traveling across the globe, traveling by map, and doing all sorts of fantastic Indiana Jones-esque adventuring.
I do enjoy that you said travel by map, like the Muppets, but you also travel Indiana Jones style, like the original trilogy, just across the map.
Where you're fisticuffing and whip cracking and shooting and
lots of fisticuffing.
Lots of fisticuffing and knocking people out with all sorts of improv weapons. He does a good job. Mm-hmm. That was a great game. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle was released on December 9th of 2024 on Xbox and Windows. It was later released on PS5 on April 17th of 2025. We played it on Game Pass on PC.
We did.
And I said whip some reviews into shape, pal.
I did enjoy that. Metacritic, 86 from critics, 8.3 from users.
Okay.
IGN positive. It's a little long because this game is excellent.
It is very, very good.
The eye-catching environments keep coming. The ornate Italian architecture and crusty catacombs of Vatican City, an ancient town and multiple Nazi dig sites in the shadow of the Egyptian pyramids and the Great Sphinx, Sukkotai's winding waterways and flooded temples which are being reclaimed by the jungle. It's all excellent stuff and bolstered by exemplary ray tracing lighting to boot. I loved the huge contrast between the levels, and the Great Circle as a fanciful archaeological concept is an admirably effective premise to justify indie hopping all over the globe during a single story. The strength of that story here is one of the Great Circle's true assets, and it's been brought to life with some very impressive performances. For the most part, Troy Baker's Harrison Ford impersonation is close to spot on, and Baker's otherwise distinct voice disappears in the role. Credit, too, must go to the voice actor David Shaughnessy, whose unerring version of Denholm Elliott's Marcus Brody may go criminally unnoticed in Baker's shadow. This could have very much felt like a gimmick considering Elliott passed away back in 1992, but Brody's small role feels meaningful and respectful and not like a stunt. Marios Gavrilis also kills it as the slimy and sinister Nazi archaeologist Emmerich Voss. He spits his dialogue with such venom, I imagine his microphone may have required a tiny umbrella. Most of the meaningful conversations occur in well-directed cutscenes, which are on par with those in modern Wolfenstein, albeit punctuated with an appropriate amount of slightly slapstick Indiana Jones humor when the fists start flying. There are basically 2 movies worth of cutscenes here, but it never felt like too much. This is Indy in his prime, and I'm on board for every extra minute of it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I literally pulled up IMDb to see if the actor who played Marcus Brody was still alive to give the voice performance.
Yeah.
That's how good he was.
Yeah, it was very, very good.
And he's not in it for very long. He's in the beginning section, and then he calls you on the phone a couple times, and then there's the scene that we kept saying was Alan Wake.
You're in the dark place.
Which we also did in South of Midnight. That's just what we do now.
The dark place is everywhere. It's all connected to the Remedy universe.
It's true. Everything is in the Remedyverse now, just they don't know it yet.
Yeah, they don't realize they're there.
This game very much felt like watching an Indiana Jones movie, and we can dive deeper into that as well, because I still have to do the negative.
Okay, yeah.
Game critics negative. Most of the negatives that I could find were complaining about the AI of the enemies. So I think I tried to find something different, but I also pulled this several days ago, so we'll see what this quote is, because I did not look at it before this. Game critics negative. Hot on the heels of a mysterious giant who stole an artifact from Marshall College, Dr. Jones finds himself smack in the middle of the winding streets and vertical architecture of fascist-occupied Vatican City, which comprises the first big chunk of this first-person immersive simulation-style adventure. Unfortunately, this opening third is easily the weakest part of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. My instinct to explore, egged on by an open-world, non-linear structure and a map full of objectives and collectibles, was summarily punished as I ran headlong into locked door after locked door. I was taunted by map markers that were seemingly just out of reach, only to discover hours later that I'd been stymied by narrative stage gates I had not yet reached.
That's fair.
It's a fair assessment. I liked it or agreed with it because we both agreed, especially in Vatican City, that the maps and the layouts were not intuitive.
No, I had to use the book the entire time. I couldn't figure out where I was. There's a few buildings where I knew where I was and a couple loops that I would remember. But the rest of it, I had no clue where I was.
No.
Any of the maps, to be honest with you. Egypt was a little bit easier. That's also when we discovered that there was, in fact, fast travel. And then Sukhothai wasn't too terrible just because you had two main areas, town areas, and you had to boat between them. So, there wasn't too much to super explore. No, mostly water.
Yeah.
And then I started using travel by map, by sign.
Travel by signpost.
Throughout most of it. So, yeah, the game was relatively open but linear at the same time. I don't know how else to describe it. It had some nice open maps and areas, and other parts just felt more linear, straightforward, have to go through from point A to point B.
Yeah.
So they had a nice combination of that, but overall, I don't disagree with those criticisms, but we'll touch on them as we go through, because I have my own criticisms of the game. The AI is part of it, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
I know Nazis are dumb in the movies, but whoo, they were bad in this game.
Oh, yeah. So the Indiana Jones story is good. I would say it's as good as the original 3.
I would also agree.
I really, really liked it. I was enthralled. I think a buddy of mine from work said it best when he said, I wish you could have all the cutscenes.
Just as... like a movie to watch?
Yeah, just something, because it really, when you're in the cutscenes and you're watching it, and always the transition of the shadow back into the character was really fun.
That was, yeah.
But so from the traveling by map, action, the storytelling, it is all done in perfect Indiana Jones. Whoever was the Machine Games,
yes,
the folks over at Machine Games captured this so well. They just did such a good job. There's what I like to call the great religious undertone in this story of all the early Indianas, where they have she's chasing some religious thing where, the Ark of the Covenant.
The Ark of the Covenant or the Holy Grail, which is now in my office.
But
Thank you very much.
This one is much less apparent, but it has lots of religious undertones through the whole thing as it's telling a story of the Great Circle.
It's funny that you say that it's not apparent, because you literally spend the first third in Vatican City and you get to see the Sistine Chapel.
Yes, but
I know what you mean.
There's not a direct object that they're looking for.
Yeah, it's not like something rooted in history, like the Ark of the Covenant or the Holy Grail.
Yeah. So those things are there, and it's really fun watching him go through from place to place and start to piece together what he's actually looking for and what he finds at the end of, what he actually discovers at the end is just so good. The first time ever, I'm just not spoiling it.
I don't even know how to begin to fully explain it either to do it justice. So we can just play it.
Yeah, just play this game. It is really worth your time. If you're bad at it, play it on easy. I think there's an easy difficulty, and just get through the story and enjoy it as much as you can. Because it's so well done. It wasn't even hard on normal. The enemies are not that smart. I did die a few times to silly climbing things and just overwhelmingness sometimes. But
it took you, I want to say, until... was it the second area to really get the hang of fighting, and it's because you found the outfit to get you into the fighting ring.
And taught myself how to win the matches of the blocking and hitting.
One of the main complaints of a lot of places was that there were guns in this game, but it didn't make sense to use them.
No, because it made it exponentially harder.
Yes, they called attention to you, and... enemies just ate bullets, and one point that I don't remember if it was IGN or another place I went to made the point of there is such an iconic scene where Indiana Jones literally kills someone with one bullet, and you don't get that in this game, so it's not really Indiana Jones. So most reviewers, from what I found, just did fisticuffs.
Yeah, or melee weapons when you can get a handle on them.
Yes.
The primary villain, as they said, is actually very a likable and detestable character at the same time.
Yep.
I always enjoyed when he was on the screen.
He reminded me of the main bad guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark a little bit. He had the...
very eccentric, over-the-top Nazi, but still fantastic.
So evil.
The thing about this game that was truly fantastic is the side stories felt like they were meant to be part of the main game.
Oh my gosh, that one that you did in the last third where you found your Swedish student, I thought that was main story, where she turned out to actually be evil.
Yeah.
And then it was side quest completed, and I was like, what? That was 45 minutes.
When you met Gina in the temple to go under the Sphinx the first time... and you did all that. That felt like it was part of the story.
Yes, and that was all side quest.
All side quest.
It was so good.
The side quests in this game were fantastic. Every one of them that you did felt really on point.
Yeah, I think one of the other complaints I read was for a lot of the puzzles, because there were a lot of puzzles, they were very... not straightforward, but there wasn't more than one way to solve them. Yeah,
it was a one-size-fits-all puzzle.
Yes.
But they tried to make things obvious. I think I had you look up one
There was one really stupid one, because we didn't realize when you put the discs in the cipher that you were looking at the numbers below the letters on them.
Yeah.
It was something really weird, and then once we figured that out, the next time we found one of those puzzles was much easier.
It was really easy to do once you figured that part out. Yeah, the other had ciphers, numbers. Some of them you had to look up specific dates, and you had to know specifically in game about certain dates and times, but
find particular letters that had that information, but
it wasn't. Some of it you would have to look, and sometimes we just used a guide because it's just tell me the numbers to open this silly thing.
Correct, yeah.
But we don't like puzzle solving. I do and I don't. I like the physical puzzle solving. I don't necessarily want to every single puzzle have to look at 3 different pictures and remember X, Y, and Z from a different puzzle.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they are good, and they're well crafted.
Oh, yeah.
So I can't complain too much. It's just not my favorite thing to do the whole time. Aside from that, the gameplay was actually really a smooth experience.
I was surprised how much I enjoyed, because it's first person POV. I cannot talk this evening. And then when you go to climb something or jump across something, or it goes out to the third person and then goes back into the first person. And I thought that would be very jarring, and it surprisingly wasn't.
No, it was well done.
Yeah, and it made sense. And I feel like if they kept it third person, it would have felt a little more like an Uncharted game rather than its own thing. Mm-hmm. So kudos to them.
Yeah, and as you said earlier, once I learned the melee combat, that most of the fighting in that game wasn't too bad. You were able to just knock out a bunch of Nazis with ease and not have any...
The one thing I didn't super enjoy was, and again, I watched you play. I did not play this myself, but the stamina meter, it just felt not great until you got enough upgrades, finding those books that you had enough stamina where you didn't have to keep, like, taking 2 steps back to regain your stamina so that you could go back in and keep fighting more Nazis. Like, It just felt a little awkward for probably the first half of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Nazis kind of react how you are, so they won't pull out guns unless you have a gun. Otherwise, they'll fisticuff you or try running at you with melee objects. So you'll knock one out, pick up their melee object, knock out the next one, and the next one. And I was able to continuously do that. And they just kind of single-filed into a room for me, so they were not...
They're so dumb.
The AI is really bad. Really bad. And I will say that I didn't really care about the weapon breaking in this game. It made sense to not have permanent objects. I just felt like this is one of the games, and you're going to hear a theme, not spoiling anything coming up, but you'll hear a theme from us in this, that the story was so good that the combat being just okay...
Sounds like a game we just finished last night.
Yeah, was fine. It actually was more... Indiana's combat actually wasn't... terrible, but no. I feel like if they do another one, they can really polish.
There was one side quest that you did at the beginning where you got like this huge 2-handed like club to just massacre people that apparently, looking it up online, you could like do like 50 hits with it or something, because most things were like 2 to 4 hits.
Yeah, there was a whole puzzle based around getting a jawbone.
Yes, the jaw, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And then you just kept dropping it. There was no way to store it and hold on to it for later. So it was kind of like, well, what's the point of this if I can't take it with me? Because you had to climb up a ladder to leave, and you dropped it to climb up the ladder. Like, that was one of the frustrating things with the
there was no storing items for later, like smaller or larger items. They gave you enough to use, but yeah, that one was particularly perplexing, where they made an entire puzzle around getting it. You got the item and then never got to use it.
Yeah, that one was weird.
Outside of that, like, the whipping was fine, the traversal was fine. I had you, again, look up some of the areas where I could, because it wasn't always obvious in Indiana where I could go and not go to. That was some of the stuff that was a little tough for me.
Yeah, I can understand that as well.
They tried to make it obvious. They had, like, the white ledges that you could go to. Sometimes it didn't look... It blended a little too well with environment or other things, so it wasn't always an obvious traversal. I felt that traveling around the world was fun. It kind of let you know when you were in the next chapter, when you were progressing through. Mm-hmm. Getting out of the Vatican was nice, though I had a lot of fun there.
The Vatican was fun because we've been there in person. Granted, it's been quite some time, but...
Yeah. But, yeah, and sometime since it took place in that game, too.
But things have changed. Yeah, well, you made the comment because there was a lot of stuff like in scaffolding because of, the Nazis being in there, and you're like, oh, hey, it's just like when we went.
All the gates.
All the stuff is gated off, and you can't get to anything, or you have to pay to go in and see it. So, yeah, that was a very funny observation on your part.
But I did enjoy being able to go into places that you couldn't go normally, so they had some creative liberty on how they set stuff up, and I'm sure they had some historically accurate pictures of things that they used.
Probably. Again, you get to go through the Sistine Chapel, and you walked through it quickly, and then both of us were like, wait a second, are we in the Sistine Chapel? And you just pivoted up, and we're like, yep.
They're just casually walking around the Sistine Chapel.
Yep. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
The other excellent thing that this game did was the loading screen at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, because it just puts you right in
wherever you stopped playing. That is where Indiana Jones is just kind of standing, shuffling his feet, and then you hit continue, and he puts his hat back on, and you go to first person POV, and you just start playing.
He cracks his knuckles, and he's ready to go.
Oh, that was... We noticed that, I think, the third or fourth time starting it up, and we were like, that's freaking awesome.
It's really cool.
It's just a nice little touch.
Everything was very, very well thought out in terms of presentation. in terms of how it is. I absolutely loved that. And I literally said, in spite of all the little negatives, this game was an absolute joy to play through.
It was.
I'm really excited.
Our issue, I feel like, was that we wanted like at least an hour a night to play it, just because it was like watching an Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah.
Truly. So there were a lot of nights where by the time we sat down, we only had like a half an hour, and we're like, do you really want to hook up your laptop to the TV and play for like 25 minutes? Not really.
No.
So it took us a little too long to get through it.
But I could see someone binging this game.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like just do like a 2-day, 6-hour plus playthrough. How long did it take us to beat?
It took us, I think, 23 hours.
Yeah.
I told you it was a lot shorter because I was going to watch just someone's quick playthrough on YouTube that was just main story, and that one with like no commentary was just over 10 hours.
Okay, but I did a ton of side quests.
You did so many side quests.
And I don't regret it
no,
at all in this
It helped
one.
flesh the game out. Not that it needed to be fleshed out, but it really
Expands the story.
Yes.
It gives you more context on characters, locations, what you're doing. It's really worth your time. There's a lot of good conversation and characters in this game to be found and had if you're going through all that stuff. Well worth the time.
Yes.
Apparently there was a fight club in the third area that we didn't find.
I assumed there was one in every area.
Yeah.
We didn't find the
Shirt, the
shirt
disguise,
for the first one.
Yeah, the black shirt outfit for the first area.
But you found the second one, and those disguises were also nice because those just got you into the restricted areas, so you could just wander around.
Yeah, I was apparently supposed to find that outfit to sneak through some of the camps later on, and never found it.
Whoops.
So, whoopsie.
Sucks to suck.
Yep. And then I just said this game is another proof that Troy Baker is in every video game ever.
He's wonderful.
He's quite fantastic. His impersonation of Indiana Jones was so good that there was times I didn't know it wasn't Harrison Ford speaking.
Yeah.
There,
Correct.
very, very rarely did I'm like, oh, that's not Harrison Ford. That's Troy Baker.
And a lot, I feel more at the beginning, but I feel like at the beginning you were also actively trying to hear the difference, and then you got sucked into the game, and you're just like, no, it just sounds like
Indiana Jones.
41-year-old Harrison Ford in, 1984, 1987.
Yes.
Because these were after Star Wars, and Star Wars was early 80s. I had to think of the timeline of events.
And I just love his voice acting. He's so good, and he's in every game ever.
He is. He can be in every game ever.
Yeah.
And I love that the main person behind this game was like, I don't want Troy Baker because he is in every single video game. And then they did the blind test of 3 different impersonators, and every single time that man picked Troy Baker.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, well.
If he comes to like a Comic-Con around here, we will go and do a meet
But
and
I'll never
greet.
get you back. You'll just be attached to his leg and I have to call the fire department to break you off.
Correct, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
One more.
Your point?
Or the dog. But
Yeah, it's truly wonderful. And the fact, like, he did such a good job at it that Harrison Ford showed up at the Game Awards to tell him how good of a job he did.
give him a high
Like,
praise.
Troy Baker had no idea what Harrison Ford was going to say. Like, all he knew was, like, they got him to show up for a hot second. Mm-hmm. And then he completely ignored the teleprompter.
Which he should
As a grumpy old man should do.
As Harrison Ford would do anyway.
He would, yeah. He's just a nice woodworking man whose acting career got in the way of his woodworking.
Yeah, he could have had a career.
Oh, yeah, that was that. He was on the short list to play Batman back in the 80s.
Yeah.
That was that Jimmy Kimmel said that to him, and Harrison Ford was like, oh, I could have had a career. God, I love that man.
He's fantastic.
Also, everyone go watch Shrinking because it's wonderful.
Oh, he's in that all
Yeah,
about
my
that.
God, he's so good. He's so grumpy, and I love him.
That's just him in real life.
I don't care. I'm still highly attracted to that man, and he's 82 years old. He is wonderful.
I mean, you were dating your grandpa the whole time.
That's true. Grandpa Jack did always ask how many people I was dating, and I said, counting you or not counting you? Mm-hmm. And he would laugh.
I mean, it's the truth, though.
I know.
He loved that.
He did.
Yeah, so like I said, we love his voice acting and look forward to hear what he does next. And I'm assuming there's going to be another Indiana Jones game.
I think they've basically said like, yeah, there will be another one, but
It's good. It was great.
It was
I
fantastic.
saw it and I was skeptical when I saw the trailers,
everyone was.
and they just knocked it out of the park to me.
Did.
I really am very happy with what they did. I really hope in the next one that they work on the combat and they
Yes.
make that a little bit more cohesive. But their storytelling, it was so top notch that if they made another game and it was the same combat and the story was just as good, if not better, we'll suffer through it again. Yeah, because it was just that good. So that would be my only critique is the AI was too a little unintelligible. Having guns was fine, but they weren't necessary.
Yeah.
And they could have just made the whole game melee and it would have been fine.
Yeah, it would have been perfect.
Heck, if they gave guards guns and you had to sneak by them or take them out stealthily and make that more cohesive, that would have been fine too.
Yeah, and like the stealth wasn't even that bad either. It was pretty decent for what it was.
Yeah, I was terrible at it
You-
though. I just got to whip cracking and punching.
That one time where you're like, I'll take this guy out, and someone else saw you, and then you just saw like 15 red exclamation points all over the screen, and you just turned around and ran. Mm-hmm. You're like, okay, let's try that again.
When they're done searching me out. And then the uniforms helped a lot.
They did, yeah. That's a cool touch.
I forgot to mention earlier that the locked doors only bothered me in the Vatican.
Yes.
The rest of the areas you encountered some, but generally the key was in that area or not far away, or it was along the story that you're like, oh, I found this key. I can go open these doors now.
Yeah, the Vatican just felt like it was trying to do too much or send you along a certain path, but not actually give it to you. You have so many notifications going on. Like they wanted you to go down a certain path in a particular order, but they didn't really tell you that. So they still gave you the little open sandbox to play in, and then you just kept coming into locked doors.
Yeah, and I found that it was trying to be too much of this might not make too much sense, but of a Dark Souls experience where you open up shortcuts as you go through the game.
Yeah.
But it felt a lot less necessary because I guess you were going back to the same spots a few times, but there was a point where I was like, how the heck do I get in this door? It's right here. I don't see the pathway. And it was just, like you said, way later in the story. You just randomly end up there and you're like,
oh,
this is silly.
Yeah.
It's a little silly that I've knocked out every guard. I can just kick this freaking door open. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
But fine. Rest of it, awesome.
Yep.
Okay. I'm giving you 2 ratings, but we'll do the actual overall rating first.
Overall rating, I would give it an 8.5.
Okay. Now.
10.
Yeah, probably. Troy Baker's impersonation of Harrison Ford.
15.
Yeah, you liked it that much?
It was really good. I still remember when the game came out and IGN, it was also on their Instagram, but on their TikTok had like a comparison of the opening scene of Raiders to the opening scene of this game, Indiana Jones is Dreaming, the opening sequence of Raiders of the Lost Ark. So they had like flash cuts between the movie and the video game. It's really, really close. Like it's because he does his own thing with it as well, but it still sounds like Harrison Ford. Mm-hmm. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I gave the game a 9.
I was close to a 9, and then I thought about how sick the first-person POV made me, and that made me knock it down half a point.
You don't like first-person POVs.
I don't, and I had real bad morning sickness while we were playing this, so that didn't help.
It does not help whatsoever. Yeah, I really enjoyed, as a whole, I enjoyed the game, the story, especially the story. It did make me want to watch an Indiana Jones again. Raiders, because Raiders takes place before this.
This takes place between Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade, and I almost grabbed a quote about that from IGN because they talked about like how much this just perfectly fits in that little time frame of time in the Indiana Jones lore where like you get a little bit more background on his relationship with Marion because that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
And you get a little bit of that here, and being back at the college, the university, and you just get like a glimpse into Indiana's life that you don't get in those movies.
Yeah.
So I almost grabbed that quote instead.
Yeah, but 9 out of 10 for me.
9 out of 10.
Yeah. Again, combat really is what held it back for me. If the AI was good and the combat was so bad, it would have been a 9.5.
Yeah, that's
If
understandable.
everything was good, I would have given it a 10.
Oh, this was wonderful.
It was, but truly, the story itself, 10 out of 10. Without a doubt. If it was just rating off the story,
15 out
10
of 10.
15 out of 10.
15 out of 10.
It was an Indiana Jones that we wanted for a while.
Yes, another one of the reviews I read called it the best Indiana Jones of this millennium. Mm-hmm. Because 4 and 5 were not great.
No. Blasphemy. I didn't dislike Crystal Skull.
4
It just
was fine. It just had Shia LaBeouf and aliens. And 5 was just a lot of chase scenes. You never watched it. I watched it, I think, on an airplane. It was fine and involved time travel, which was interesting. It was fine.
Just fine.
It was fine. But like this, yeah, go back to the Bible. Pick something in there. Mm-hmm. I just remembered this has Noah's Ark in it as well. That was a cool thing.
Oh, also, I'm knocking down a point for... Not a point. Well, I guess this is also why it's 9 out of 10, is that it's really big, scary chase scene. I'm not spoiling it because I'm sending this to people who want to watch it in the jungle and dealing with the guy in the cave, the blind guy that you had to sneak
That
in.
sucked so hard.
He was terrifying. Both of those were
That
terrifying.
was one of the times where you were like, please look up how I beat this.
This is terrifying.
Because there were coins all over the floor. Oh, ugh. I blocked that from my memory.
And he was a clicker. They had to throw the clickers in
They had
there.
to throw the clickers in, which is just another, thank you, which is just more Troy Baker. So
He was that guy too.
he was also the clicker.
He was also the clicker. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all we got. We're at Gaming Marriage, gamingmarriage@gmail.com. We are going to do another podcast reasonably soon. We finished South of Midnight.
We did.
Or you
I finished South of Midnight, and now we're going to go start Claire Obscure.
Oh my God.
He's been dying. You talked this game up to Scott for so long.
Everybody on the Discord is just like, this is the best game of all time.
And Scott like sent me a Snapchat that he was playing it, and I was like, oh, we need to set up our monthly coffee date, but I'm waiting for Matt to start playing Claire Obscure. And Scott was like, that bro talked up this game for so long and hasn't started playing it yet.
Did you explain to him
Yes,
why?
I
Because
did.
like, we have to finish this,
Like,
and we
I
have
know
to.
in the past we've been like, we can start playing Horizon Forbidden West. We won't start Elden Ring. And then you're like, oh, let's just dip our toes into Elden Ring and see how it is. And then we didn't play Horizon Forbidden West for like 7 months.
Because of how good Elden Ring was.
Ring was fantastic. Witch Night Rain is getting like 7 out of 10s. Which is about what I expected.
Well, what I expected to.
Yeah.
It'll be a game I get on sale.
Yeah.
It looks all right. I have the before you buy for it.
Okay.
So we'll get some.
I'd be interested to see what my other internet boyfriend says.
You got 2 of them. You want a bird, though.
One's a bird. Those were good birthday signs, too.
All right, everybody. We'll see you real soon with South of Midnight.
Well, I'll probably post. There'll be a gap, but yeah, there won't be like 2 months between podcasts like last time.
Probably like a week or so.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.